Hello there. I thought I should turn down my expectations of myself for this video just because it is technically a class requirement and I don't want to go too overboard.
He said, like a bald-faced liar.
Hello there! I am Lorcan, and I am an overachieving creative type who just can't seem to stop himself from doing too much. Today I'm here to tell you about D&D, or Dirt and Dirt, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I run a campaign as a dungeon master and also play in a couple myself. I have been playing for only a year now, but I am very much spending all of my money on it. It's terrible. Currently, D&D is having a massive popularity boost because of shows like Critical Role, The Adventure Zone, and Stranger Things, where it's mentioned a couple of times. And recently, Wizards of the Coast, the people who make it, have released the Stranger Things starter set, which is why I thought this would be a good time to persuade you why you should play it, because you should! I've always really loved making stories, if you couldn't tell from looking literally anywhere else on my channel. But I've never really been able to share them properly with someone else, as in including someone else in the story-making process. But that's what any great tabletop role-playing game is for. To make you a better creative thinker, but also to have fun at the same time. It's such a win-win situation! Hear that, parents? It's educational. Okay, let's jump straight in on this. So why should you want to play D&D? Well, there's a bunch of reasons. Firstly, it's a good political game because we need to sort out the mess that we have been left by our parents. D&D makes you use your imagination. There are very few people who use things like models or maps or even a more advanced like little miniatures that people can get. Not to say that though you can't use those, the majority of the game is taking place right inside your head, so really cheap. Hear me again, parents? D&D is so amazing mostly because you're able to really get yourself into these worlds that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do anything in. Like, how else would I go to a volcano and dance by the side of it while trying to persuade the bear that I have definitely not got the money that I owed him? It was a weird time, basically. D&D is also great to teach your children problem solving. And also, if just to teach you problem solving, because let's face facts, they're gonna try and persuade you to play this game, so you better just join in. Problem solving can take many forms, in terms of, how do I persuade this person to give me this item for cheaper? How do I make sure that I don't get killed in this next battle? How do I persuade that tavern girl to sleep with me? Don't worry, no D&D players ever do that. Ever. And finally, the most important thing that I really want to get over to you is the fact that D&D allows you to put yourself into someone else's shoes. Now, how often do you get to live someone else's life? The answer is nothing, and if you are... But otherwise, we need another way to get ourselves into other people's shoes, to really understand what it feels like to be someone. Maybe I don't know how it feels to be a woman. That would be a very interesting experience, and experience all the things that come with that. I don't know how to feel as though I'm part of a species that is suppressed, or I don't know what it's like to be able to breathe fire. I want to be able to breathe fire. I think it would be really useful, and if anyone's a genetic scientist, I really would appreciate just getting in contact. I mentioned before that there are loads of shows that have featured this. In fact, the two that I mentioned prominently were Adventure Zone and Critical Role. Now, these are shows where just people turn up and they play Dungeons and Dragons. And they have gotten majorly popular, with Critical Role recently raising over $10 million just to make their own animated series based on the D&D campaign that they started, completely crowdfunded. That is insane. I wish I had $10 million. Basically, this game is really fun, and you should be playing it. It's so easy to play it. If you live in a big city, it's quite likely that the Adventure League has a game running nearby, which are free to join games that you can just go and be introduced to the systems. You don't really need to know the rules, because the majority of it is imagination, and if you can problem solve in any way, shape, or form, you're gonna have fun. Trust me. If you get a good DM, you're gonna have a lot of fun. If you're gonna have a bad DM, just make a fun character and try and muck around in the world that they've got. Anything is possible with your D&D.